A grade 3 learner from Roodepoort Primary School has died at a local clinic while another is being treated in hospital after they allegedly bought and consumed a packet of biscuits from a local spaza shop in the area. The two boys complained of stomach cramps while in class. Another incident was reported in Garankuwa yesterday where 22 pupils had to be rushed to a local clinic after consuming snacks allegedly bought from a street vendor. Gauteng Education spokesperson Steve Mabona says they are still getting closer to finalizing plans to help mitigate the crisis. Newzroom Africa's Zola Sholwana is at a police crackdown in Gauteng where counterfeit goods have been seized. And Zola Sholwana, as we perhaps reflect on the issue of the counterfeit production of food, the police minister noting a little bit earlier on that this phenomenon is something that is new to them because they're used to dealing with drug manufacturers, not necessarily food. And so what plans are in place now that they know what is going on, and how far and wide does this spread?
Well, Dudu, we actually just spoke to, the minister right now off air, and he mentioned that this is not new to them. They, obviously are aware of these counterfeit items that, have been in these shops. And he mentioned that when it comes to the issue of food, then there's a lot of, law enforcement, or rather, other parties that have to come on board in terms of assisting, because the police can only do so far. But he did mention that, they are getting close to curing this cancer, which is what he referred to, saying that these counterfeit goods are actually crippling the economy of the country, and as they account 10% of the country's economic growth at this point. And I'm joined by the minister. So thank you very much for your time. You obviously mentioned during your briefing that you are getting to the bottom of curing this cancer that is slowly eating, the economy of South Africa.
Well, if Zola were going to cure it, there's still some work to do. The problem is quite deep. The intensity, maybe if anybody mistaken of when we started, the intensity is when the police were doing operation in the CBD, in the CBD, and those who are dealing with this, they fought back to the police. We said to the police, maybe it's an area to increase our intensity. We have done. This culminates on that, but it's not a new thing dealing with the counterfeit goods as we're dealing with it. Illicit goods, that would be your cigarette and your alcohol, and the counterband, those would be your medicine and other stuff. In that is a long walk on it. We have started here where you're standing is the Allied storage, where they are keeping about 3 billion of those illicit and counterbands from the police, from SARS, from customs and all that. They keep them here. When you sit down and you listen and you realize that this is Gauteng, this 3 billion is Gauteng alone. Look at the country, but is only on this kind of category of. If you think of the illicit mining, where is almost 40 billion. The issue of the illicit trade there, and those that they deal with the construction mafia and all those. So there is a lot of leakage of the money that is supposed to be going to fiscus, but is not going to the fiscus. Maybe that's why we're having challenges and all. We're simply saying, as the law enforcement, multidisciplinary approach, not only us here, but other departments, but other sister structures, entities like your experts in the band, those that they look on the authenticity of the goods and all that. We're all working together. We are covering the ground, but we still have long walk to do, long walk to walk.
Now, Minister, let's come to the issue of food. You obviously do understand that there's been quite prevalent cases of children dying because of, food that has expired or food that's not meant to be on the shelves. Have you been able to identify hubs that are actually, making or manufacturing, fake foods and selling them to communities?
Well, it's one area that, as the police, we have really raised that we're worried about spaza shop. There are two things about that, or three. They sell the rotten stuff but not only rotten. Second, is clear that it's poisonous. But also they are able to put their prices to the bare minimum, which means where they get them, they might be an issue. But of late, we have discovered some factories here in the country where some foreign nationals are constructing and they are manufacturing this illicit food that has killed our kids. What we have found before was illegal drug laboratories. We have dismantled 27 of them with 339 people arrested. Of the food one is new. We need to work with different organizations, with different sister departments. The DTI should be part of that, the local government and all those people. But the small business department also, we need to work with them to arrest, tighten up the law, arrest those people, but to close and shut them down. Those that are running illegal business, send them back home and make sure that those that they are running illegal business, but they never license them again, never give license, but arrest them. It's quite bad that our kids are dying. I'm very sure that even the elders, they suffer slow death out of these things. It is on that score that if you pull together all these elements of this illicit trading, you discover that is what we term the bloodless economic coup d'etat, where if then you come with a coup d'etat, the state must rise and the state must fight back, and decisively so.
Thank you very much for your time, Minister. Let me let you go. Now, you've heard the Minister mentioning that they are close to getting to the bottom of this, as obviously it is affecting communities. As you'd understand that there's been cases that have been quite prevalent in society, especially in townships, where, people are buying food that is not supposed to be on the shelves in what you call spaza shops. From here, we will be heading to Mohlakeng, where Safer Festive Season campaign will be launched by the SAPS. Back to you in studio.
Zola Sholwana, thank you very much for that report.